Welcome back to the Toronto Rock Athletic Center and day number 2 of the 2023 President's Cup. It is our primetime matchup, the host Oakville Rock and the Tuscarora Tomahawks. The only 2 winless teams remaining in this tournament. I'm Matthew Carrick alongside Brian Shanahan. I'm not going to lie to you, Brian, Roger Kreisler looked concerned when I went and talked to him before this game. He does not want his Tomahawks team to go down 0-3.
Yes, he doesn't want to go 0-3, and Oakville Rock does not want to go down 0-2. So the winless is going to change for one of these teams. Second game of the day for Tuscarora, who have been competitive. 2 close losses, both of their games. 10-7 to Snake Island, 11-9 to Edmonton.
Yeah.
2 teams, they've lost to 2 teams that are 2-1.
And have shown flashes of offense. And when I had that conversation with Coach Kreisler, he said, they scored 3 goals in a minute in the first period earlier this morning. And then they'll go on a run of 12 minutes with nothing. And they did the same thing yesterday, making that closer than it was, basically 10-5 to win. And they're coming out flying here in their purple jerseys, going left to right. Perhaps most surprisingly, working away from Chase Martin, who gets the second start of the day. No Dylan Sprents in the lineup again. Thought he may have dressed for tonight, so perhaps an injury we're not aware of. And that would be a huge loss for Tuscarora, who get a reset and a quick shot in Nick Rose, starting as you would expect for Oakville, making the save.
And speaking about having trouble scoring goals, the Oakville Rock only 4 goals yesterday in that 5-4 loss against Six Nations.
But also only gave up 5.
Yep.
As we talked about yesterday, that goals against average, if you can keep your opponents down, usually does you a world of good. On the run already in the first save out of the way for both netminders. That one off the stick of Dylan Watson. Martin will pick it up, and again, they've, despite losing 2 games, only team to do so far at this tournament. Only a -5 in the goal differential department. So Tuscarora can pull one out here at the end of the day. Still hope for their tournament. Talking to some of the coaches, though, a lot of people think that if you're going to be around on Friday, you pretty much need to win 4 games. So already with 2 losses, Tuscarora don't really have a lot of room to wiggle around here.
And I think the pressure is just as equal on Oakville. I think both of these teams are coming into this game as must-wins. I know Toronto's only lost once, but they can't afford to go 0-2 against a team that's already 0-2. Did I say Toronto Rock?
I don't know. We're going to have to put a jar because I know I'm going to say it a few times.
Now, there are about 11 players on this Oakville Rock who play for the Toronto Rock, but I'll put my money in the jar.
Including Matt Sawyer on the bench. Long-time tradition of assembling the same roster. Plays in the winter and the summer. Goes all the way back. I don't know if Terry Sanderson started that, but definitely that was one of his MOs.
Well, it definitely helps for both teams.
Shot there from Hunter Lemieux, who was unusually quiet earlier this afternoon. Roger Kreisler said the key to the offense of his team is to shoot more, and pretty much exactly what you said yesterday, Shanny.
Yeah, and what we saw with Hunter Lemieux in his first game is he did.
Look at Dan Lintner.
Yeah, nice play. Lemieux did great work in the corners yesterday, and that was a big part of his game.
Did the same earlier today, Andrew Q. After we just briefly saw brother Alex, it'll be a bounce shot, and he sets up Marley Angus, who gets the opener here in this one.
Yeah, Marley Angus scored 22 goals in the regular season for the Oakville Rock. He's another one of these young Toronto Rock players who's getting lots of valuable playing time for the Oakville Rock, and he just steps in the slot and takes a nice shot. That's his first goal of the tournament, and we'll probably be saying that a few times since they only scored 4 goals yesterday.
Cam Milligan is in today, as is Joey Zabo and Brandon Slade. I believe the 3 changes for the Rock. Subbing for Brett Hanser. Jordan McKenna. And there should be one more that I can't pick out at the moment. Rose makes another save, and this has been called pretty much all tournament consistently in the off-ball slash. I think we're going to get a pair of players headed to the box.
Yeah, that looks like Adam J for the Rock. I didn't see who went in there for Tuscarora.
Marvin Curry, I believe. Kyle Kennery, the standby official from Ontario, making the notes. Sean Grenier from Ontario is on the floor with Tom Moxham from the Three Nations League.
We'll be playing some 4-on-4 lacrosse now.
A favorite of Pat Gregoire and Jake Elliott.
I love it too. I love it too.
I'll make it unanimous then.
Okay.
Chase Martin with a shot, and this is what Tuscarora, does well, pushing transition 3-on-1. They get it to the trailer, and it's a wide shot coming off the stick of Ron John. Back the other way though, Oakville now coming in. Ryan Lanchbury, no room for a shot there. Nice defender all over him. Pick and roll, working with Lintner over to the far side. I think they're going to call Cam Milligan through the crease.
I think we're getting a slashing penalty too. Looks to me like Tyler Kahn.
Not his first one of those in this game, or in this tournament.
Not the situation you want to be getting in if you're Tuscarora. Down 2 men early, or actually down 1 man. A 4-on-3 is almost, pretty much the same as a 5-on-3.
No look, cross crease for the goal. Dylan Watson setting up Lintner.
Beautiful play. And the reason I say a 4-on-3 is as good as a 5-on-3. When teams get up 5-on-3s, they only set up as a 4-on-3 using the 5th man as a safety. So lots of room out there, and they get the goalie moving, Martin moving back and forth, and that's an easy slam dunk goal for Lintner.
Lintner setting up to have a big game. Here, this one already with a pair of points on Oakville's first power play chance. And the arm of the official is high again.
Oh my gosh.
As Isaac Vanderzalm, he subs in for Devin Buckshot, the only change in the lineup for Tuscarora. They don't have many bodies to sub in. Remember, they lost Zach Belter yesterday in a walking boot here today, and again, suspect something could be up with Dylan Sprints. You would think with their double game today, he would have played one of them. It'll be a high stick.
Yeah, you're correct.
By the way, the call here on the floor. 34 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4 as Vanderzalm goes off for the high stick. Just under 5 minutes gone here in the first period. Already 2-0 Rock.
And let's see if Oakville goes back to what worked last time. And looks like the triangle is going to try to close that off.
Q back across to Lanchbury. His shot hits off a leg. And Andrew Q will come back to get the rebound as the shot clock continues to tick down. Back to the crease. Quick stick Lintner. And Martin came across to make the save, and then they push transition back the other way. Couple fakes, and Nick Rose matches that to make the catch on Carson Reese. Lanchbury pointing at something as the penalty box doors open, and we go to 5-on-4 floor strength. Martin trying to corral that loose ball. Already 8 shots in the period showing up on the board here in-house for the Rock. I know Roger Kreisler wanted shots, but you need the ball if you're going to take them.
And you need to stay out of the penalty box, too. I mean, they've actually had a couple of good scoring chances. Short man on the fast break.
Halfway through this power play now. First time we're calling the name of Josh Dullick, who can't connect with Andrew Q up top. Dullick had a big game as he walks in and takes the shot. 4 assists.
4 assists on 4 goals, even more impressive.
Goals, yeah. Lintner scoring twice in that game yesterday.
Now the good news, Dullick assisted on every Rock goal. The bad news, they only got 4.
Q to the corner, comes all the way back up top, and he'll shoot it straight through Martin.
Andrew Q has an excellent outside shot, and if he gets to wind up and take shots like this, he's going to score a high percentage. You and I have been watching him since his junior days. I remember when he first came to play in Mimico, and he'd wind up for a long outside shot. I go, why is he shooting? Oh, nice goal.
Yeah, oh, that's why, yeah.
It's a little too far out. Oh, no, good goal.
Perfected that shot down in Tampa.
Yeah, scored, 80 or 90 goals playing NCAA in Tampa.
Yeah, a stupid number, that's all I know. Nick Miller out to the far side. Gets it back. He'll take a low shot. And another one that's down low on Nick Rose. Tuscarora likes to go 5-hole. Their shots, they've done that. Noticed it yesterday on Nick DeMood and here on Nick Rose as well. As Q will get another chance. Works around the screen, shoots. Bit high over top of the net, brought down by Cam Milligan. Far side all alone is Dylan Watson. He spins back. Q. Another outside shot, and Martin will make that save as well. Picked up by, I was going to say Patterson. It is Patterson.
Patterson's been the top scorer for Tuscarora throughout the tournament.
I think the bench of Tuscarora might be getting a penalty here, because I picked up every word off that bench from here. Yeah, Sean Grenier has already heard enough.
Yeah, this is a recipe for disaster. I mean, the referees are calling Tuscarora. Tuscarora seems to be getting frustrated and making it worse.
So already not even 8 minutes into this game, the Rock are already 2 for 2 on the power play, getting their third opportunity. And it'll be Lanchbury up top, down to Lintner in the corner. Dawick, Lanchbury. Corner, they go back to Lintner for the quick stick again. That time, Martin was well aware and came across nicely. They go try it again with Dawick, and he completely fanned on it.
I think you got that right, though. Since Lintner burned him on that first goal, Martin is well aware of his presence and is ready to react.
Behind the back from Lanchbury to Lintner. No look back up top. Lanchbury down to the crease. Watson's shot just missed. It's played back to Dawick. Him and Lintner switch spots now. Still Lanchbury up top. Lets that big howitzer go. It goes wide. Shot clock down to 5 seconds. And Dawick will just put it on the cage, and Martin will hang on to everything. Nearing the halfway mark of this power play. Tuscarora need to kill time now, but getting to pretty soon. I mean, defense and Nick Rose only allowed 5 goals against, I want to say, a high-powered offense in Six Nations, but they had trouble scoring today as well.
Yeah, they have not looked high-powered at this tournament.
Hunter Lemieux, ball down as he got swarmed at the end of the shot clock, and then a little bit extra.
And I think they're calling the Rock for a penalty. And you got to know eventually the tide is going to turn. And Hunter Lemieux, big, strong guy. I think he's actually wise driving to the net when he's shorthanded like he did there, because you got to know the referees. The slightest thing happens, they're going to call a penalty the other way, and that's exactly what happened. 4-on-4 for a little bit, and then Tuscarora will go to their first power play.
Adam J. taking a seat. Interesting to see what his NLL season will look like in a different uniform for the first time. I mean, the Toronto Rock lineup is just so stacked. There wasn't really room for him. As Lemieux does exactly as you asked, he's going to end up laying in the crease, so Tuscarora can't get another shot away. But Lemieux going to the crease with authority. Was met stride for stride, however, by Brandon Slade, I believe that was. Tuscarora to their first power play of the game. Minute and 20 to go as first Rock penalty expires. Excuse me, the Tuscarora one. Running out of shot clock, they dump it into the empty corner. Vanderzalm back to the near side for Krakowski.
Well, yesterday was Patterson was the best shooter on the power play. Let's see if he takes some early shots.
Although Marv Curry did flirt with a hat trick. Didn't see much from Curry this morning as the shot does come from Patterson. Rose with the save and out and behind everybody. Here's Chris Weir. Martin will make the save. Rebound comes all the way up and outside the restraining zone. Rocker shorthanded, so you do have to watch that over and back line. Normally no over and back in CLA rules. Nearly jumping the route was Patterson, but Rocks still have it. Shot clock about to expire. And Watson went to put it over the shoulder, and Patterson went to say something, as does another player off that Tuscarora bench.
Yeah, Watson very nearly surprised Martin on that shot.
Hunter Lemieux had it in the corner with a bit of a hidden ball play. Only a couple seconds left on this power play. Coming out of the corner where Heron Snow is up top. Shot from Curry. Hit the defender who was coming off the bench in place of the penalized Rock player. Carson Reese will chase the rebound back in front of the Rock bench. And it'll be a fresh 30 seconds here for the Tomahawks. Curry bouncing around outside and got stuffed. And now picking up and off to the races is Callum Jones. Jones all by himself rings it off the crossbar.
What an excellent defensive play by Jones to pressure high in the ball, steal that, create his own breakaway, and off the pipe.
Another former Burlington player, former captain of the Burlington Junior A program, who just won the Minto Cup a few nights ago. Zawick picks up the ball, had to wait for it to roll out of the crease. Another one of those Canadian summer ball rules. Lintner taking a couple whacks down there in the corner. And Shanny, I got to tell you, the President's Cup officially got underway this afternoon. Matt Kim scored with a wooden stick.
Oh, beauty.
As they'll use the plastic one, will Oakville to score here and go up 4-0. On the outside, I believe Marley Angus has got his second.
Yeah, just a nice pick and roll. A hard pick on the back goes to the net. And the pass is in his stick, and Angus got his second of the game. But going back to Kim scoring on the Woody, was it a transition goal? Must have been.
Yes. Yes, it was. And I think it's the same Woody he uses to take faceoffs. He just uses it the entire game.
I know. I'm absolutely amazed that he uses the Woody for faceoffs. I think it's a disadvantage using a Woody on a faceoff.
Roger Chrysler burning his timeout early. 8 minutes left here in the first. And down 4-0 again. Tuscarora already down 0-2. And speaking about Woody's at the faceoff, Tyler Kahn is going to do his best here against Joey Zabo. As if there wasn't enough Mimico on this broadcast already. Shot and a goal.
I think that was Adam J. scored that goal. Well, we're just talking about face-offs, and Oakville wins the battle for the loose ball off this face-off, and Adam J. gets the clear-cut breakaway and puts it in. So, perfect start for the Rock. The worst start for Tuscarora.
And somewhere Pat Gregoire is smiling when you mention the importance of face-offs. Him and Jake Elliott talking about that in the earlier game. They'll be back for 3 tomorrow, 2, 5, and 8. You and I don't know how we keep getting the early games here, Shanny, but my snooze button.
Yeah, 10 o'clock came quickly today.
Yeah. especially after being here late last night. But 4 good ones yesterday, and save for one that kind of got a little out of control. 17-9, Ladner over Ganawaki at 2. Pretty much every game has been fantastic here at the President's Cup.
Yeah, it's been a very competitive tournament. But you got to think, as we go farther along in this tournament, you're probably going to see. Oh, there's a goal.
That was Hunter Lemieux doing as you asked. Headed to the crease. He's done it twice now, and this time turns into a rebound, and Marvin Curry's got his first.
Yeah, Hunter Lemieux coming out of the corner with the ball, just driving hard to the net. And Curry does a good job of scooping that rebound, putting it in quickly. But you got to think as you go along in this tournament, this is where you're going to see the difference between the deeper teams, the more talented teams, the further you get along. Everybody comes out ready for a fresh start, but you'll probably see the cream rise to the top as we go along.
By the way, tomorrow's the day that Oakville plays their double dip. They're the only team to do so tomorrow. And they do it against 2 teams that are 2-1 after day number 2. Start with Edmonton. That'll be our game at 11, and they finish with Snake Island. What a move there from Jimerson. And Jonathan Jimerson lost control of the ball right on the crease. Nick Rose was ready for a save that never materialized, but
yeah, the Edmonton Miners have had a good day. 2 wins today, and you know what? That was a tough loss yesterday against Ladner. It looked like they were going to win that game fairly late in the game.
Lintner on the crease, and what a save from Martin. Denying Lintner his 4th point already here in the period. Patterson will slow things down. See if that perhaps settles things back in the net, or in the end to our left. 2 shots away from 20 are the Oakville Rock here in the opening frame. Fresh reset, however, for Carson Reese and Tuscarora. Nick Miller was looking for a lane, couldn't find one, and as he tried to get back to Hunter Lemieux, it was intercepted. And down floor again comes Brandon Slade, and he scores transition.
I think Brandon Slade is an unsung hero. The more I watch him play through Toronto Rock career and with this Oakville Rock team, he just works so hard on defense, but look at the speed that he has coming up the floor. He knows his teammate is picking up a loose ball, and he just starts sprinting, and he's always had great finish. He's one of those guys, grew up an elite scorer in lacrosse, but in his pro career, changed his role to play some defense, but when he gets an offensive chance, he doesn't miss too often.
And it was Senior B that he used a strong summer season to transition into an NLL opportunity, and as you said, a good career.
Yeah, he's a solid pro for sure.
Dan Craig was part of that Oakville team. Slade was on as well. As Curry comes through and takes another shot, and Dan Craig found a home on the left side of that offense.
Well, and we see how well he's playing in the NLL now, but I think this is a great opportunity for a lot of young players, guys like Josh Dawick, Marley Angus.
Watson got stuffed up top, and then the over-the-shoulder shot from Q. Well, and they play for a team and an organization that has championship aspirations every single season, so why not give them a taste of playing for one here in the summer?
Now, Jay Lansbury's not a Toronto Rock player. He belongs to Georgia, but that's another player who maybe struggled in his rookie season in the NLL, but has had a fantastic summer here, and look for things to come from him in his second NLL season next year. 87 points for the Oakville Rock this summer.
Oakville up 6-1 with under 4 to play here in the first, already with 20 shots here in the period. Another one flies from Q. That one just missed. Lintner will get it back. Hard pass to the far side. Was knocked down by Angus, who's already sitting on hat-trick watch, and the shot clock will expire. The first one 30 violation against Oakville here in the first. Nick Miller down the near side, tried to flip it back to Lemieux, who missed. And look out, here comes Jay again. Adam Jay all alone. This time Martin gets the better of him.
Yeah, Ontario, Oakville's defense is just so good at turning a defensive position into offense.
Here's Patterson going to take it to the cage this time, and shot went off the shoulder of Nick Rose, battling over the rebound. It'll be a reset, and whoever gets it. Callum Jones was in there for Burlington, and it's going to scoop it and run down underneath our broadcast position. Trailing the play is Lanchbury. Cam Milligan off the bench. His shot went high, and then Jones is staying out there on offense, gets taken down to a knee.
Almost a deflection goal. An accidental deflection goal.
Tuscarora scored one that bounced around in the Edmonton end earlier in the game this morning. Nearly had one on the return back here. And another transition. And another goal. How about the finish from Brandon Slade?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with Slade. He holds scoring records, or he set scoring records at Brock University in field lacrosse as an offensive player. So just watch here at the hands on this guy. Look, I love the way he slows down, looks around, sees he's got lots of time. Nice goal. Now in the NLL, somebody would be throwing a flag.
Sure.
Yeah.
Here's Alex Q. Controlling that face-off. Does pass it back over center, but she already said no over and back.
And Brandon Slade didn't play for Oakville Rock yesterday against Six Nations. That is a big hole in the lineup without him.
Back across for Dawick. Q. Takes a couple whacks, passes behind his back, down in the corner. Angus had a bit of trouble with it late in the shot clock, realized it, but perhaps a half second too late. Now Tuscarora already took a timeout in this period, so Oakville have one if they decide to use it down the stretch here. Nick Miller over to the far side. Carson Reese's shot hits off the post. And not sure what the call was there, unless there was a Tuscarora player near the crease. Well, Lanchbury with a minute left here in the first will settle it down for Dawick. All the talk in this building was, where was the Rock offense yesterday? Oh, they found it overnight. The potential eighth one just kicked off the line by Martin. Ranjan stays up on offense this time. Shot well, getting hit from Kent Baker Printup. Rose made the save, and no sense of urgency now for Lanchbury and this Rock offense as they'll set up for the final shot.
And it doesn't look like they're going to pull Nick Rose.
Dawick up top, finds Q in the corner, 15 to go. As he comes back across to Lanchbury. Only 5 in his shot clock, though. They'll chase him up top and make sure he doesn't get one. Q was cutting through. Bit of a shoving match with Zach Kearney. And I'm not sure who he's got down there on the crease, but there'll only be about 4 seconds here to see if Dan Kwiatkowski can bomb one. I don't think he knew that there was only 4 seconds left, because not a whole lot happened on that last play. Not a whole lot happened in that first period for Tuscarora's offense, but my goodness, Oakville putting on a show.
Yeah, they sure are, and we haven't mentioned Ryan Lanchbury and the scoring yet. Josh Dawick hasn't scored. They're getting a few goals off the back end, the defensive end, and the defense is looking dangerous. Power play looked good. It's everything they didn't do yesterday offensively.
Well, and they need it. Both teams do, as both looking for their first win of this 2023 President's Cup. Second period comes your way in 9.5 minutes. We'll take the timeout before we bring you back to Oakville. Back live at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center in Oakville as we put a cap on day number 2 of the 2023 President's Cup. Look at Nick Rose, who stopped 12 of 13 shots in that first period. Tuscarora's only goal coming off the stick of Marvin Curry. Meanwhile, 7 off 24 shots on the other side for Oakville. And if you were asking yesterday where the offense went, well, sometime overnight they found it.
Yes. And, it's a tough job for Tuscarora. I feel for Coach Chrysler and Kilgore, because this team has worked hard and competed, and they've just run into a very tough, skilled, hungry Oakville Rock team.
And the first period that they really haven't been close to their opponent.
Yeah.
Through their opening 2 games, including this morning against the Miners. Heron Snow, as Tuscarora goes right to left in the second period, they go quick stick to the crease. And Nick Rose had to be sharp in the opening 30 seconds of this second frame. Here comes Slade, already hat-trick watch for him. And Marley Angus. Already 2 points for Andrew Crew, 3 for Dan Lintner through that first period. None for that man, though, Josh Dahlwick. As they work away from him, Watson now Q. 5 in the shot clock. Comes back to Lintner. Low riser coming out of the stick of Watson.
Dylan Watson loves that underhand shot. Seen him pick a lot of corners from that shot.
Patterson, speaking of guys with lethal shots, we've seen him use his a few times in this tournament already. As here comes a transition again, it'll be Andrew Q leading the way near side, takes the pass, and down to the splits went Martin. That ball went up into the screening. Everyone saw it except for Sean Grenier.
Except for the referee, and he's got his hands open, telling them he didn't see it. Sometimes you can't call what you don't see.
Well, on the other side of that, Tom Moxham had to stay down the floor because Tuscarora left one back, as they've done a few times in this tournament. Transition again for Oakville. This time led by Chris Weir. He's going to take it himself, and that one bounces off of Martin. Goes up. Well, I guess it was a shot wide because the Tomahawks will get it. It bounced up into the rafters. Patterson. Outside, pick coming. Clears out Joey Zabo.
That shot by Lemieux, I think, hit the pipe.
Yeah, got the reset out of it, and they'll reset it again as the rebound picked up by Oakville. Not too many offensive rebounds for the first period and a bit for this Tuscarora team as they work it back to Lanchbury, and he's got his first of the game.
First of the game to go along with a couple of assists. Scored a goal yesterday against Six Nations. 36 goals, 51 assists in the regular season this year for Oakville. He's been their top goal scorer, and he puts in his first of this game. And that's just good back and forth passing, making the goalie jump. And a nice shot.
Battle for this loose ball. It'll be picked up by Q. The other one, Alex. And he finds a man streaking off the bench. Back for Q. Quick stick crease and just missed. It was Lanchbury again.
Very good ball movement by this Rock team.
There's part of me that wants to know what was said overnight, and there's part of me that maybe doesn't want to know what was said overnight, because this Rock team has come out firing. Slade over to Dahlwick, unless they've just been watching the game and realizing what needs to be done.
And I would not be surprised if not much was said at all. It's not like they have to hear Matt Sawyer to say, hey, our offense has to play better. They all know it.
Fair. It's different as well, I think, being the host. Because they get to plan for it for, a year or more and look towards the opportunity and know they're going to be part of it.
Yeah.
Whereas every other team here is known for, a week and a half? Marley Angus already with 2 goals. Back for Q. It's going to slow things down and wait. Watson taking the floor all the way outside now for Lanchburg. Watson, that rising shot again. Rose nearly took out the shot clock in behind the net of Martin. Angus got knocked down, and Q spinning. Man, can shoot from anywhere on the floor at any time from a number of different angles.
Just the fact that he caught that pass, I was impressed with.
Down the corner, Marv Curry. Alex Q sends him outside. Curry finds a man on the crease, though. Quick shot there from Nick Miller was saved by the other Nick Rose.
You know, not a lot of good scoring opportunities for Tuscarora, but I think Nick Rose's play is being overlooked because of the goals on the other end. He's made some nice saves. They could have easily had 3 or 4 by now.
Q trying to flip it back up top. Milligan was there, as was Zach Kearney. And it'll be Kearney taking the shot that Martin hangs on to. And you're right, not only, when your offense isn't really going, when you finally do get the opportunities and, you get one of the top goaltenders in the pro leagues standing there doing what he does, it's got to be frustrating over on that bench. Hunter Lemieux in a foot race here with the Rock captain, Billy Hostrauser.
Oh, this could get interesting.
Yeah.
Hostrauser
throws the straight right.
Yeah, that's Isaac Vandersum. And I really think Hostrauser is the toughest player in the NLL right now. I can't speak for players I don't know on all these teams in this tournament, but I think you got to be careful if you pick a fight with him. And he's not even really a big guy.
No.
5'11", 180, but I've seen him go against guys 225 pounds and tear them apart.
I think you and me are safe, Shanny. I'm going to stay
too heavy for you.
Right up here.
Really.
Patterson across. That one caught a piece of Rosie before it went up and out of play.
I do think it's even reached the point with Hostrauser. He plays a good, solid game. He doesn't take stupid penalties, but I think it's reached the point where there's not many challengers for him. Let's put it that way. His reputation is well known.
That part of the game that hasn't really. You don't really see it all that much as Adam J commits the over and back.
I think you forget what line it was. Adam J was playing the NLL rules.
And as soon as the whistle went, looked skyward when he did remember. Baker prinked up. Walks in and off the corner and scores on the power play.
Yeah, mental error by Jay. And before Oakville even sets up their defense, Printup comes out of the corner, takes advantage of the confusion.
Just looking down at the first period stats, they gave Hostrauser an assist on one of Slade's breakaway goals. I'm trying to count now. 8 runners without a point, and one of them is Josh Dalwick, who had 4 apples last night on the 4 goals. Patterson the rebound, and almost a clean catch from Nick Rose, who's going to ask for a stoppage so we can reset the net. And Tuscarora not happy with that, although they were in the middle of an offensive change, so trying to see who's out there for the Rock. It looks like they're all defensive guys, so don't really know what was up with the disagreement. Lemieux takes Jones into the outside boards, enough to pop the ball free, and Tuscarora will get another chance.
And showing a little bit of enthusiasm from the Tuscarora bench after that goal.
Well, and again, that's what they've done in this tournament. Remember back to last night with Snake Island, especially earlier this morning with Edmonton. Goal seemed to energize them, but
There's Ostrauser.
Ostrauser in transition by himself. Sounded like he hit the post. He's going to pick up his rebound as well. And Ostrauser runs away from trouble. There's 6 Tuscarora players out there.
Oh, my.
Both officials are counting.
One of them is hiding by the goalie. Oh, the officials have figured it out now. The arm is up.
I think spying Lanchburg.
And there's no point going off the floor now. You know, you might as well take advantage of having an extra body.
So you like 4-on-4. How do you feel about 6-on-6, Shanny?
Oh,
Josh Dawick loves it.
And that's a goal you gotta hate if you're Tuscarora. Did they pull Nick Rose for that? Did they make it 6-on-6?
Yeah.
They did. Okay. Tuscarora just looked confused, not sure what to do with the extra man, and gave Josh Dawick way too much room to step into that shot. Well, his first goal of the tournament.
I don't imagine the 6-on-6 set is practiced very often.
No. And you know, I remember way back when I always say, like, if you put too many men on the floor, you know, if you get caught,
send another guy.
No, don't take don't take the man off. I think I remember once some team, too many men on the floor, and penalties being called. They call him off the floor. One of the coaches says, no, just keep him on. He sent him back on. He got another penalty. Yes.
Boy. Well, Josh Dawick scoring the 6-on-6 goal, which may be the only one of those we see in this tournament. Something he did, something he didn't do yesterday on his birthday, by the way.
On his birthday, didn't score a goal. Now, how old would he be now? 23, 24?
Oh,
another nice shot. Was that Q?
It was Andrew Q with his second. All the fanciness he does, you forget that he can wind up and do this sometimes.
You know, and really, that's always been his bread and butter. In fact, I remember Junior and an NLL scout telling me that, you know, too bad he's one-dimensional. He's only got the outside shot. Well, we now know he's got much more to his game than the outside shot, but I still say it's his biggest strength. Scored over 40 goals in the NLL last year, and you got to have a pretty good skill set to do that.
Brother Alex will lead the rush here in front of Callum Jones. I believe Alex Q and Callum Jones were former teammates. Jones graduated a year after, I believe. Also a former Burlington Cougar in the OJHL. Yeah. Watson, feet went through that cylinder, so gets called for the crease violation. You can see the Rock counter transition, the defense already quickly getting down floor. Arnold Lemieux trying to do the same thing, but his shot ends up out of the corner. 35 seconds away from the halfway mark of this second period. Rock already in double digits, 10-2. And Q might not be done. Puts it up top to Lintner. Q and Dawick. Playing catch as the shot clock runs down. 5 on it. Q, even with a man in his face, he still manages to find the net. Although that one off Martin. He wants one of those bar down bucket hats, I think. Does Andrew Q. Low shot from, Carson Reese. Rosie wasn't sure where it was. He picked out of his pads. By Brandon Slade, a pair of transition goals in that first period for Slade. Part of 7 goals from the Oakville Rock. Angus looking back. Shot from Kearney. Goes off the end glass, goes up out of play.
Some good ball movement by the Rock, back and forth, quick passes. Not the shot Kearney wanted, though.
And for this team, I mean, this is the place where they practice and they play, but no time for floor time to get any of those bugs out from last night. They just got to come and bring it. But it was a spirited warm-up. They were out basically as soon as the last game finished, and they were going through drills. And, some of these teams just kind of come out and pass the ball around, do some stretching, listen to the music. Not the case for this Oakville team. They knew what the goal was here tonight.
And, sometimes after, a bad game, not that it was a bad game, a bad result, what you want to do is get out and play as soon as possible.
Cleanly intercepted by Tuscarora. This would be Patterson running it in. Patterson fakes, tries to go 5-hole on Nick Rose, and it's caught up in his equipment. I knew there was another substitution player not in, and it's James Chadwick. Just realized he hadn't called that name tonight for Tuscarora. Kritkowski crosses back across the field, and a low shot gets through everybody.
That's a nice shot by Kritkowski coming down on the one-on-one, looks off at the bench. Some transition to Tuscarora, but watch here, he looks at the bench and then just comes across. If you can get a shot to where you want it to go there on that, when you're pulling the goalie one way, you shoot back to where you go. It's very difficult. Nick Rose has to come across with Kritkowski as he comes across and to put it back on an excellent shot. It's easier to say than to do.
Joey Zabo leaving for Hostrauser. Dalwick will play hidden ball play, leaving it in front of the door. Angus passing near side. Quick stick to Lanchbury. Fired it off his teammate's back. Lanchbury moving it to Kearney. And the shot clock sounds. Don just waiting out the siren. Aaron Snow, Hunter Lemieux. Back in the corner, no options, so they go back to Snow. Devin Napoleon playing the double today after missing game number 1 last night. Zaba will jog it back up again. Player falls in front of the Tuscarora crease. Rock have 10 to shoot. Watson will do that. It hits the glass and then the official. Forcing Q to go run after it. And his pass up top bounces off the glass and straight out. And they'll get the quick reset and the goal for Kritkowski going back to back.
I don't think they're going to sweat too much about it in a 10-4 game, but not a wise play by Q. The over-the-shoulder, kind of like a Hail Mary pass to the center that turns into a breakaway. Just a couple seconds left in the shot clock. That's why when you see teams, when they're up by a goal or two late in the game, they just roll it in the corner. And not too worried about that. Q was looking for something to happen, and it backfired. I don't think he's going to lose sleep over it, but should remember not to do that in a closer game.
Right, 2 big ones coming up tomorrow, as we said. Pair of teams that are 2-1, Edmonton in the morning. Shannon and I will be on the call at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Before they then play Snake Island tomorrow night. I think we're going to find out Snake Island. 3-on-1 for Tuscarora. They go to the man off the bench, and it's off the foot of Adam J. He was hobbled at the crease, and full sprint to get to the bench where he can finally grimace about it. On the run, the shot, rebound, second opportunity. First one taken by Sheldon Burns. Back the other way, off the post.
Well, he was trying to call the goal at it. I think that was the correct call.
Ben Austin thought he had one down all alone, and the Rock are going to try and slow things down here.
A little bit of sloppy play by the Oakville Rock.
Andrew Q back over the top. It was his play, and for all the offensive talk we talked about Patterson, he's the guy that stepped up in front of that shot and didn't let it happen, because Q does like to wheel over the top and let that sidearm fly. Patterson is staying on here.
Patterson's getting a lot of floor time.
Under 5 to go here in the second period. Rock up by 6. Patterson, aforementioned, and may have beat Nick Rose, but the stick of Brandon Slade was there. Slade to the far side. Dahlwick's the one that shoots. Martin the rebound, and as Slade gets run over, they get the interference call. A little too much from Nick Miller, normally an offensive player. He'll be stuck on the floor here. Watching Angus high step it to the far side. Nice recovery from Dahlwick as that pass was way high. Josh Dahlwick will get it back. Marley Angus, another recovery. So they did get the shot and a chance out of it, but even some more sloppy passing from Oakville. Tuscarora the other way. That hit Hunter Lemieux right in the face mask. Nick Miller will bring it down, though. Stalling on the outside.
Oh, my.
Oh. Is that Marvin Curry?
I think it was Marvin Curry.
Didn't see how the ball got over to him.
Oh, it was just passed deep into the corner, and I don't know if he was just trying to get a reset or not, but yeah, that's definitely a goal. A shot Nick Rose would want to stop, but that's 3 in a row. 3 in a row for Tuscarora. 10-5. That was the score against Snake Island like late in the game.
Yeah. Ended up, what was it, 10-7. So, I mean, this is a Tuscarora team that is 0-2, but they're pesky, and their goal differential is only -5 with 2 losses. So they're keeping one back in the offensive zone, meaning this is 4-on-4. Ball out to the far side, Lintner. Will be wheeled up top for Kearney. And a shot clock violation coming after the goal for Tuscarora. And they have traveled well to this tournament. Perhaps one of the better fan bases from not one of the 2 Ontario teams is Tuscarora. And when they get on one of their runs, their fans get right into it. Here's Hunter Lemieux. He'll cut back, less than 10 to shoot, though he does, and it's a high one off the shoulder of Nick Rose. Postrouser to center. Took a big parting shot from Ben Austin. Was playing high defense. Austin will head down the floor. Watson out. Angus, Lintner. Martin will cover up, and nobody's picked up Austin, who went all the way down the floor. Now finally running back, Phil Mazuka was in full sprint coming off the bench. Shot goes wide. Carson Reese brings it back down. They do reset the shot clock, though, as we near the 2-minute warning here in the second period. Reese inside the restraining line. Marvin Curry. His shot wide. It hits the end. Dasher takes a big hop down for Callum Jones. And he'll pull it aside.
I like what Tuscarora is doing. They're trying to make something happen. They're taking some chances.
Andrew Q. Over the top of a pick. And there's that shot as Q completes his hat trick.
Well, it's a risk, what Tuscarora is doing, keeping a guy up the floor, playing 4-on-4. But I think it's a risk worth taking. But they do get burned here by Andrew Q using the extra room to play a little 2-man game, just step around the top guy and get that excellent shot.
They've credited the last goal to Nick Miller, not Marvin Curry.
I thought it was Curry. What number is Miller wearing?
21.
Yeah, I think that's wrong.
If it is Curry, that's his second. This is Curry right here. Looking for the hat trick. No mistake on this one.
You gotta enjoy the no-quit attitude that this Tuscarora team has. You know, they were really getting run over at one point in this game. Now they're more than trading goals. They're outscoring Oakville. 4 of the last 5 goals now.
On one of their patented runs that they've put together in this tournament, Kahn gets up slowly and he's hobbling off to the bench. Tuscarora cannot afford to lose another player. They've only got, I think, 1 or 2 subs left on that bench. Of course, talked about Zach Belter going down in yesterday's game. Shot off the end glass. That was Miller, as we are in the final minute. 11-6. It was a 6-goal disadvantage, so Tuscarora's got at least one back. Slate trying to play 2 for 1. Oakville have both of their timeouts. Kritkowski had it briefly knocked away right at center. He's going to go through the pick of Slade. Kritkowski on the run, and the shot saved by Rose. Rebound to Tuscarora, and that'll put a hold in that rock. Chance to get the final shot. Ben Austin. Martin still in the cage, down to our right. This ball's bouncing around. Hunter Lemieux couldn't pick up, and the Rock are going to take transition away from themselves.
They did.
By calling timeout.
You know, and sometimes you call it, as you know, the coaches will say, call it when we get it. That would have been a time where it would have been better for the Rock players just to take a quick look up the floor and say, nope.
Lintner had half the floor to himself except for Chase Martin, and we'll see if there's a timeout call that's better than that over on that bench. And what does Roger Chrysler have in store? Tyler Kahn looks like he's going to come out for this final play, so still paying attention to that left leg. By the way, this second period was brought to you by Ice River Green Bottle Company. 100% recycled plastic in all their bottles, and that's the transition shot from Ben Austin that he thought went in.
I missed it, but what did you think when you saw the replay there?
It was close enough that I would love another look. Maybe we'll walk over to Chris Main's screen in the intermission here. 9.5 left. You can see empty net on your screen. Nick Rose will go to the bench here at the end of this second period. Dylan Watson, Ryan Lanchbury, Josh Dawick, Lintner in the corner. This is Andrew Q. The only other one is Marley Angus down on the crease on the near side, and that's him. And it'll bounce to Martin, and there will be no final play. Tuscarora, I mean, they have hung on in every game so far in this tournament, and perhaps they're doing it here, although it's still down by 5.
Well, definitely a great finish to the period for Tuscarora. And we'll see if they can continue that in the third.
Harness it somehow and come out gunning as both of these teams look for their first win of this tournament. We'll find out who's going to take it. In the final 20 minutes, we're 9.5 away from that third period. Oakville leads 11-6. You're watching the 2023 President's Cup from the Toronto Rock Athletic Center in Oakville. Yes, Chris Main, one more period to go here on the second day of the 2023 President's Cup. And it is a big period for both the Tuscarora Tomahawks and the Oakville Rock, again looking for their first wins of the tournament. Tuscarora does not want to drop 0-3. Oakville, as the hosts, do not want to drop 0-2.
And a good rebound period for Tuscarora. They were outshot 24-13 the first period, outscored 7-1. That period, Tuscarora won 5-4 and actually outshot the Rock 18-14. See if they can do it one more time.
Lanchbury bouncing around. He finds a seam, he'll cut through, and that left arm got there just in time because I think the top corner was open for that Lanchbury shot. Cutter over the shoulder. I think I'm obligated to call it the Bobby Allen.
Yes, too many mimical people around. You got to call Bobby Allen. It's funny that us mimical people name that shot after a Peterborough guy. The great Bobby Allen.
Jonathan Jimerson back the other way. You'll have to Google it, kids, if you don't get it. Can't do all the work for you. Napoleon passing it back up top. Tuscarora getting taken down here, and they're going to go back to the power play. Already 1 for 2. It'll be a holding call against Adam J. His second trip to the box.
And Carson Reese, I like that he's driving to the net. I think I said it earlier about, Hunter Lemieux does it. When you drive to the net, you're either going to get a scoring chance or possibly a penalty against you. But it often makes things happen.
Well, if they make something happen here, they'll start with Patterson. Quick stick, Lemieux.
Very nice execution. We've seen Patterson take a lot of shots from that spot. And Nick Rose had probably seen it too. It looks, we're all thinking, okay, they're setting up for a Patterson shot. He got the best outside shot. And what a beautiful pass to Hunter Lemieux. Phil Mazuka hangs his head a bit. He probably thinks, I should have had my stick in that passing lane.
Well, the way he, hard stepped into the pass made it look like it was going to be a shot too.
No, he absolutely sold the shot. And how many times have we seen him step to that same spot on that same setup, same pick, and take that shot?
2 days worth of setup for the power play goal. That pulls Tuscarora back within 4, and all alone on the doorstep again was Curry. This time can't shovel it in the direction of Rose, but the big stick of Rosie.
How many times has Hunter Lemieux done that? Gone into the corner to get a ball back. His teammates don't even realize.
Gonna do it again. Tried the fancy finish, but the ball was long gone. And stole it away from Nick Rose, then stole it away from 3 other defenders. Talking about right into the lion's den there for Hunter Lemieux. Two minutes gone on the run. Lanchbury, his shot wide, and 3 Tomahawks players take off, already with 1 down floor. Trailer here on the near side is Logan Monroe, and big hit there. Tomahawks player on the ground still had it, and Postrouser takes it away and gets up to Alex Q. One of the 6 runners on this squad without a point is Alex Q. He'll get a shot and a save out of Chase Martin before he runs off the floor. Tuscarora have 6 players out there again, but none of the officials picked it up somehow. Nick Rose had already started running off, but all arms stayed down as on the run, the shot from Kearney is saved from Martin, trying to go back, quick stick on the crease. And a nice defensive slide over by Logan Monroe. Although they forget about Mazuka coming back door. Pardon me, Kearney, not Mazuka. Now it's turned over and Monroe will come back the other way on the moving screen.
Well, Tuscarora did get away with one in the defense of the referees. When they're hanging a player up the floor, you only see 5 in one end.
Now another big heavy takedown, this one at the hands of Callum Jones, but Tuscarora and Miller continue to gain possession. Miller over the top, sidearm shot into the body of Jones and just stood there, ate it, and then picked up the ball and ran down floor. He's got Watson with him. Trailing the play is Lanchbury to Watson on the crease. That just skims past Martin. Rock get a reset, and they'll get a change out of it as well. Josh Dawick, one of those coming over. 4-on-4 set with the Tomahawks keeping a player down in the offensive zone once again. Lanchbury trying to jump the route. Jonathan Jimerson will get past him. Tries to turn it into transition, but Hostrauser was waiting for him. Hunter Lemieux. Here for Jimerson, now far side. Comes back for Curry and kicked ahead by the Rock player.
This could be a collision.
Sheldon Burns. Martin comes out.
Oh, boy.
Oh, blindly dumped it behind him, and Hostrauser will run in. Passes back for Q, sidearm, and it's in.
Well, Martin's not going to like that play. I don't think he had to panic as much as he did, and we didn't see it here, but he did get possession of that ball and just sort of, whipped it up the floor to no one specific, went right to a Rock player, turned it into a 3-on-1, and final goal by Alex Q.
I don't know how many times I'm going to be able to say this, so I will say it. Alex Q from Bill Hostrauser on the goal. Q, one of those players that didn't have points, so now just Chris Weir, Jameson Dilks, Sheldon Burns, Phil Mazuka, and Callum Jones, the only runners not to hit the score sheet here tonight in the 12 goals the Rock have put up. Sidearm shot past traffic. That was Milligan. He's credited with 1 assist. I don't know that I've even called the name of Jameson Dilks, so see if indeed he is out there. Chris Weir on the floor defensively now. Ball outside. They try the pick and roll, and pass flies through midair and right into the stick of Nick Rose. No pass option, so he goes up to Weir on the near boards. Lanchbury and Dawick, the two righties, will come out again. Hostrauser staying down the floor with Carson Reese, so effectively a 4-on-4 set. Dawick to Andrew Q. Lanchbury up top off the pad of Martin. And that was right as the shot clock was sounding. The Rock will get another reset. There's 6 minutes gone here in our final frame. I'm telling you, Shanny, there's a tie coming in this tournament now that we know it can happen. Lanchbury to Q. Off the boards.
I'm actually surprised we haven't had a tie already, given how close
how tight all the games were. No, they're waiting to make a real mess of the standings. That's what's going to happen. All these teams that are going to have 2-1 records tomorrow.
Yeah, they're waiting till we say, as long as there's not a tie, it'll be straightforward.
Lanchbury walking in and gets waved off for the crease violation. Ryan Lanchbury thought he had a nice one.
Well, a nice move by Lanchbury, but referee Tom Moxon called him in that crease.
So perhaps a chance for Lemieux. Tuscarora got back within 4. As close as they got, down 5 right now. Nick Miller to Lemieux, one-handed catch, tried to make the shot but ran out of space and called for the crease violation. He'll be the one to stay down the floor now.
Yes. I think he's just decided whether they want me to stay down the floor or not, I am.
As if all the whacks and hits and bumps and block shots weren't enough. These players got to deal with turf burn in this President's Cup as well. Q. Oh, the one-handed pass. He picked it up nicely. And there's gloves swinging and everything here with Dylan Watson.
I'm assuming they're calling both. I know Watson dropped his stick. I didn't see exactly what happened.
Martin's going to get a water break for us to perhaps try and figure it out.
Yeah, referee's calling his own timeout.
There's the shot from Q. It'll be on the right side here. You'll just see it up top. And I mean, the right jab was going.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Watson is the aggressor there against Isaac Vandersalt. But did both of them go to the box, or?
No, I think it's just the one.
Just Watson. I do think that's a correct call based on what we saw in the replay.
Just kind of standing there, yeah.
You know, who knows what he did earlier to anger Dylan Watson.
Well, Tuscarora 2 for 3 on their power play.
And that last power play goal was a beaut. You know, Nick Rose won't be letting that happen again.
Hunter Lemieux scored it. He's down on the crease. Up top is Patterson.
Oh, boy.
As you say they run the same play.
The exact same play, and that's a miscue. Different defender. I think it was Mazuka down on the crease last time. That time it was Jamison Dilks, whose name we finally mentioned. Yeah, the defender's got to stop that pass from getting through. And yeah, that's Dilks is sort of cheating up a little bit, worrying about the shooter up high, and I'm actually shocked that they ran the exact same play twice in a row.
And that it worked.
Yeah.
Ben Austin running in. Goal back to 4. Goal differential, rather, back to 4. Ron John to Nick Miller, who is credited with a goal that we think should have gone to Marvin Curry. Hunter Lemieux will turn towards the crease. This shot reaching in front of Nick Rose. Didn't reset the clock. This one hits off the defender in front. And we'll go for the 30-second violation. Lemieux staying back again. Alex Q will leave it. Here for Lintner, who, I mean, we thought this was going to be a 10-point game for Dan Lintner. Came out with 3 points in the opening 2 or 3 minutes, and nothing since. Hard shot there. A heavy screen from Kearney. Bounces into the stick of Martin. 11 and a half left to go. I mean, 4-goal swing here.
You know, and that after that first period, it looked like this was going to be the second blowout. Well, maybe even a worse blowout.
I told you we could be in trouble in the third period. Figure out what we're going to talk about when we get there, when it's out of control. But we're talking about a 4-goal disadvantage. Got to credit this Tomahawks team, man. Every single game, there has been absolutely no quit. On the run, Phil Mazuka rings the post, and 4 Tuscarora players come out with it. Waiting, shooting. That was Corey Becker that found all of Nick Rose.
You know, one of the things I love about, you know, an odd man rush is a save turns it into an odd man rush the opposite way. Yeah.
Sheldon Burns waited there to get the change, and again, basically 4-on-4 with 2 players hanging out down floor to our right. Josh Dawitt, broken stick out there. It's from one of the Tuscarora defenders, who immediately goes hard after Marley Angus. Another player, I mean, 2 goals right out of the chutes, and not a whole lot from number 9 ever since.
Yeah, there's been a few players on this Tuscarora team who have had exceptional games. I know, you know, Martin made a mental mistake on that last Oakville goal, but he's had a great game for them otherwise.
Great day for them as well. Good game earlier this morning. As Curry comes in and gets a face full of crossbar.
And Curry and Lemieux have very similar games. They have similar body types. They're just big, strong guys who like to play near that crease and bulldoze their way in.
Timeout gives us a chance to let you know that this third period brought to you by Bar Down, the apparel providers of this President's Cup apparel. PresidentsCup.lacrosse.ca is where you can find the link to the online store. If you're headed down to the Toronto Rock Athletic Center, you got a booth set up down in the lobby. Or you could be yourself player of the game, get a nice bucket hat to add to your collection. And Matt Sawyer is going to take the opportunity to diagram a play, as did Roger Chrysler. Full slate tomorrow as we look ahead to day number 3. Another early one for
Oakville,
Shani
right?
and myself, and Oakville. Edmonton at 1-1 will face Oakville, hoping to be 1-1. That's at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Pat Gregoire and Jake Elliott will take you the rest of the way, which includes Tuscarora, Ganawaki, and
2-1 now, are they not?
Yeah, that's correct. Sorry. Both wins coming here today.
Yep.
As they got their double out of the way. Off the bench, Andrew Q scores. Where did he come from and how did he get that open?
Yeah, I was wondering that myself. I don't know if they actually pulled Nick Rose for a bit. But all eyes were on the offensive end, and Andrew Q came off the bench, and we didn't have a camera on it, and our eyes were looking the wrong way, but I would not be shocked if Nick Rose or the middle little switch or the defender who was playing by Nick Rose went to the bench.
Lanchbury's 5th assist of the game, and Dalek was the one who set that up, and as he passed it, you could just see him take off out of frame, so I think you might be right that there was a change happening behind the play, but either way.
Did that go in? Oh, no.
But
it was definitely a set
like
play.
It,
that was the play that they set up during their break, during the timeout, and much like the last 2 power plays for Tuscarora, that play was executed perfectly.
Their set plays have been dynamic in this tournament. For Tuscarora, it's just
there it goes again. And this time I watched so I could see what happened. So, you know, Tuscarora is keeping a player on offense.
It's
the
the
Toronto Rock guy
guy
is standing there with them. But yeah, and then he's coming to the bench to get the other guy on offense. But what they're doing well is they're putting the ball in the opposite corner from the bench. So all the Tuscarora defenders have their heads turned. You can bet that Chrysler and Kilgore will make sure they don't get caught at that again.
Matt Sawyer just has to prove every time he's out here that he's one of the smartest guys in the room.
Delayed penalty.
Feed through. It's going to come to Tuscarora again. It's been a while since they've given up one, but 2 for 3 are the Rock power play. They'll go to their 4th of the game here.
You know, Matt, I remember many years ago, in the early years of the Toronto Rock, they were in an overtime game against the New York Saints. And the ball went into the corner, opposite the bench. All the defenders of New York had turned around. And next thing you know, a Toronto Rock player coming in, uncovered, catches the ball, scores. And immediately, the coach of New York looks at the bench and realizes Toronto had pulled their goalie in an overtime game, and he just sort of like nodded, congratulations, like risky play, but
what
you
are
fooled
supposed
me.
to do?
Yep.
Here's Lanchbury up top. Quick stick from way outside of the corner was Q. Is that Les Bartley? Early days Toronto
That was
Rock,
Les Bartley.
That must have been Les Bartley.
It was Les Bartley, yeah.
The coaching tree that came off of Les Bartley,
gosh.
Goodness gracious.
And I tell all young coaches, especially when young coaches get fired. When Les Bartley had to step back because of his illness, a couple of assistant coaches took over and got fired fairly quickly. Their names were Eddie Como and Derek Keenan.
Yeah.
So good thing they didn't quit, because they become 2 of them. Well, Keenan's become the #1 winning coach. And I'm pretty sure they got fired after like a 2-4 record. So it wasn't an atrocious start.
Tuscarora having trouble finding this ball. Dalek left it right at center for Q, who picks it up and sidearm shoots into the basket of Martin.
Well, that one
up into
got
the
away from
rafters.
him.
Yeah. He was trying to send, I believe that was Krakowski, one of the players, down, and Dawick from the wrong side of the crease.
Dawick looks at the referee like, was I in the crease this time? And he wasn't, as the referee puts his arms straight up. Great play, though, on the wrong side of the floor. Watch, as that ball comes back, they don't waste any time. And, yeah, he's not in the crease. And that's Dawick's second goal of the game, I believe.
Yep, 2 for Dawick with an assist. Lintner's 5th point as well. And after that goal, your eyes were on Dawick and the official. I did see Chase Martin tap himself in the chest and say, that was my bad. The throw got away from him. It went sky high into the rafters here. 6.5 left to go here in regulation time. Lead back up to 6 for the Rock.
Yeah, the throw got away from Martin there, and it came back to bite him. But I like that he's trying to make things happen. He was looking for the fast break.
Sure. And that's worked for Tuscarora. Transition. Okay. Sorry, but Hostrauser will take it at center. Leaving for Lanchbury, who cuts the corner and ducked out of the way of a big hit that was coming from Patterson. All the talk of his offensive abilities, he's taken a few chances away from the Rock in this game.
Yeah, he's been playing, both ends of the floor quite a bit.
I was expecting that game out of Ron John based on the playoff stuff that I saw from Tuscarora. Hasn't really played that much, both ends. As Ron John Curry, though, has been all over the crease in most of the games. That time got a little too close to the blue turf.
Yeah, Curry's been one of the better players for Tuscarora this game. I like what, if I was making an early pick for their best players, Curry or Lemieux.
Down to the crease. Took a while, but Marley Angus has his hat trick.
Yeah, very quiet hat trick because he scored 2 goals early in the game, and really we hadn't heard much from Marley Angus since then. But I think it's fair to say that the wind is out of the sails of Tuscarora now, as the Rock have scored 3 in a row with about 5 minutes to go and wide open on that play.
He can give 7 points to Andrew Q. And Sammy Haynes is going to come in.
That's a good move.
Nick Rose to the bench, yep. Allows 8 goals off 37 shots. Should pick up first win of the tournament, and he's got a busy day ahead of him tomorrow. And an early start as well. Again, 11 a.m. Eastern against the 2-1 at Edmonton Miners. Oakville are hoping they'll be 2-1 by the time they face Snake Island, who played 3 goals in 26 hours and then had about 35, 36 off. I think played 2 yesterday, 10 o'clock today, the earliest of the early starts that we're going to get in this tournament.
Yeah,
and then they come back for the primetime 8 p.m. matchup.
Yeah, that's a very difficult first 2 days for Snake Island, but they got to be happy with a 2-1 record after that. I'm sure they would have preferred 3-0, but they can't. I don't think they should be complaining.
Chop in the middle, heard it. Didn't really quite see on Dylan Watson. It's going to send Ben Austin to the box with a 5-minute slashing major. So the Rock can really help their goal differential here with their 5th power play. Kearney having words through the glass with Austin, and saw a game earlier today, Shanny, that score was a little out of hand and things got a little bit too spicy down on the floor, so the officials Probably trying to keep a lid on this one, although haven't seen any signs that it would bubble over.
No, and I think it's been good that Tuscarora, really got back in this game.
Oh, that's a great save.
That's a really
from
nice
Chase
save.
Martin as they came back quick stick on the crease to Dan Lintner. From way outside, they're going to test Sammy Haynes for the first time. Devin Napoleon sidearm shot. Haynes got his first save. I believe his first national championship out of the way. Tuscarora will play the rest of this game, presumably shorthanded. Getting back to Snake Island, by the way, I haven't talked to Gawilade Mitchell, their head coach, as Dawick sends one into the pads of Martin. Since opening day, he said he wasn't really worried about the 3 games in quick succession because there was no time to think about anything, but it was more the time off that he's worried about and getting guys back and getting them ready to go after the big long gap.
Also, in some ways, if you're going to play 3 games in that short of time, you're better off doing it at the beginning of the tournament when you're starting it healthy at least.
Ostrauser knocking this one out of the stick of Carson Reese as it's the defenses that continue to play all the way down to the wire. That was mentioned earlier. Snake Island as well. They're 2-1. Edmonton Miners are 2-1, the only teams with 2 wins, along with Ladner, who will be in the 5 o'clock game against Six Nations, who went 0-2 on the day.
Yeah, tough day for the Nations, after a big win yesterday.
And I wonder how much of that, they played Oakville in the last game of the regular season here in Ontario, played a series with them. How much was looking at that game and perhaps an adrenaline dump or something similar when they came out with their double dip here today's games. Rivermen did not look like the Rivermen we're used to watching.
No. Really, their offense is dried up too.
Kent Baker prints up, getting a roughing call here to go along with the major already in the box as we approach the 2-minute warning. See what Matt Sawyer sends out here. Lanchbury. Kearney. With the logjam of teams, like we said, that are a couple wins in the bag, and Martin is going to get a hold of one on Lintner again, and he's got to be wondering what he can do to beat this Tuscarora goaltender. Maybe take a breakaway shot. No! Lintner.
He got all pipe on that one.
When he does beat Martin, he can't beat his friends. Lanchbury, we're inside the final 90 seconds. For Oakville, unfortunately, in this situation, if the record is tied with a couple teams, they're going to need to pile it on. Kept it close with the 1-goal loss last night. Lanchbury takes a number of shots, and another one that finds iron, and a high stick for Tuscarora gets up on Lanchbury.
Yeah, another high stick.
Wheels starting to come off for the Tomahawks.
I do think that this one was kind of incidental, unintentional.
Yeah. I'll agree with that for Ron John.
But I know the Oakville bench doesn't like it. I think they feel that Tuscarora's starting to take liberties. And maybe the earlier ones where I don't think that one was.
That'll be stacked penalty situations for Tuscarora, so confirming that they'll be shorthanded the rest of the game. Lintner.
So I'm just curious about whether Lintner's going to get the score because he had so many chances last minute.
No,
he does.
Yeah. He was going to pull every trick out of the bag for as long as they were going to give him. After the last couple shots, hit everything except the mesh. Absolutely snake bit before he finally gets one. It's a good rebound from Marley Angus.
Referee's trying to figure who comes out of the box, who stays in.
Well,
Still
the
got
penalty
three
that's
bodies in there.
Yeah, the penalty that's up on the board that made them shorthanded was the major.
Oh, that's right.
So
that's
that
right.
should take 1 goal off the major, which still has a minute 20 left.
Yeah, so then it keeps all 3 in.
And now that we've started going off the major, we have to keep going off.
And I don't think Oakville's even going to try at this point.
Yeah, going to dribble it out, as it were. So a rebound performance and a full team effort.
And I think I don't think we're going to see any silliness at this point, but
No.
Oakville's got the right players on the floor just in case. Except for Billy Ostrauser, that's just a sign that Oakville doesn't want any silliness.
Right. Tuscarora, the penalty, first penalty, well, has or would have expired, but he was about to come out and has to serve, first off, all 5, plus they're stacked, and none of that's going to matter. What does is that Oakville's got their first win out of the way of the tournament. It comes via a 16-8 victory over Tuscarora, who dropped to 0-3, and that is dangerous waters for Tuscarora.
Yeah, coming into the tournament, we said this was a team that didn't expect to be here earlier. They're playing with house money. They, started off the season 0-6, went into the playoffs with a losing record. But let's give them credit. There's no quit in their game. The Rock's got to be happy with the win, but it wasn't smooth all the way through. But they got to be happy. They wanted their offense to kick in gear, and they did.
Question needs to be asked, I think, if the story might have been any different with Dylan Sprents, assuming unavailable for the day, having not played either of the games, with how good he was in the playoff run.
I don't think so. I think Chase Martin had a great game.
Sure.
There was a couple of plays that turned into goals, but that was while he was taking chances late in the game. I think he made a lot of great saves. Well, look at the shots, 63 to 38.
Rock wanted a rebound, and they ended up with a dominant performance here on home floor tonight.
Now I'll ask you, who would you give the MVP to if you were voting?
Oh, boy.
I'm kind of thinking maybe Andrew Q for the Rock.
Q has 6 points by our count. So does Marley Angus, however.
Lanchbury, I believe, has 6. Yeah, so there's a number of high-scoring players. I thought Andrew Q was sniping it, though. I'd pick Andrew Q and probably Curry or Lemieux.
Lemieux had a great game. I'd be okay with that.
That is Lemieux.
Yeah. And I'm going Andrew Q. That'll be my final answer. Locking it in.
Me too.
Again, we don't get a vote, but that would be the one as we... There it is.
We're 2 for 2.
I don't think Pat and Jake went 2 for 2 today. Just saying.
Yes, but we also have to say that the selectors are not always correct. We know better.
They'll have 3 chances tomorrow. They've got the 2 p.m., 5 p.m., 8 o'clock game. Tuscarora, Ganawaki, Six Nations, Ladner, Oakville, and Snake Island in that order. But when day 3 starts, it'll be myself, Brian Shanahan, and our JVI Sports Network crew back here at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center for Edmonton Miners, Oakville Rock. That all gets started once again at 11 a.m. right here on this YouTube channel. That'll do it for day number 2 at the 2023 President's Cup in Oakville. Have a great night, folks. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
We want to thank our partners for their support of the 2023 President's Cup. Bar Down, Ice River Green Bottle Company, Gatorade, Big Chief Meat Snacks, and the Oakville Pump and Patio. Thank you for your support and helping all the competing teams as they chase the Prezi.